the silent axis awakens. They told you Kundalini was the power, that her rise was the ultimate awakening. But the truth is, her power will never ascend until the two ancient rivers inside you find perfect balance. Ida, the silver moon current, cool, receptive, and intuitive. Pingala, the golden sun current, warm, active, and electric. For lifetimes they have spiraled around your spine, weaving day and night, breath and pulse, thought and feeling. And between them lies a channel you were never told about, Sushumna, the silent axis, the hidden temple within your body, the pathway not just for energy, but for transformation beyond imagining. When Ida and Pingala finally meet in perfect union, Sushumna opens. Not as an idea, not as a vision, but as a living column of light rising through your spine, calling the serpent from her ancient sleep. This is the moment the sages waited for, because when Sushumna awakens, the body begins to prepare for something far greater, the true balanced rise of Kundalini Shakti, and with it, the return of abilities once thought to be myths.
Chapter 1. The First Breath of Sushumna. It begins in silence. No thunder, no lightning, just a shift so subtle you almost miss it. The moment Ida and Pingala flow in perfect balance, the central axis awakens. At first, it feels like a stillness in the spine, a weightless column that seems to breathe on its own. This is Sushumna, the sacred channel between earth and crown, the hidden path that has been waiting for lifetimes. When Sushumna takes its first breath, Prana begins to flow in ways you have never felt. The mind quiets without force. The heart feels open without effort. Colors seem sharper, sounds more alive, as if the world has stepped closer to you. This is not imagination. It is the body remembering its original design. The nervous system recalibrates. The aura expands, and your awareness begins to stretch beyond the limits of thought. Here, the first signs appear. You sense emotions before they are spoken. You know when someone is about to call. You feel the energy of a place before you step inside. These are not coincidences. They are the earliest whispers of siddhis, the ancient abilities dormant in all humans, waiting for the axis to open. And as you feel this first breath of Sushumna, you understand the awakening has already begun.
Chapter 2. The Rise of the Siddhis. As the current in Sushumna strengthens, perception begins to bend. You no longer see the world only through the eyes. You feel it through every cell. This is the birth of the siddhis, the psychic abilities the ancient rishis described, not as miracles, but as the natural senses of an awakened human. It starts with subtle knowing, clairvoyance that comes as a flash of truth, telepathy as a silent exchange between minds, premonition as a feeling in the body long before events unfold. You begin to see the aura of a living being, to sense the weight of unspoken words, to hear the resonance behind someone's voice and know if it is truth or illusion. These gifts do not come from the mind. They rise from the axis, from the perfect balance of Ida and Pingala, feeding the Sushumna with Prana. The more balanced the currents, The clearer the perception, the more open the channel, the greater the reach of your awareness. And yet, these are only the early blossoms of the path, because the true flowering of the siddhis comes not when they appear, but when you learn to hold them in stillness, without ego, without attachment. For they are not the destination. They are the signs that the central channel is alive and preparing for something far greater, the rise of Kundalini Shakti herself.
Chapter 3. Preparing for Shakti. When Sushumna is alive, the entire body becomes a temple in preparation. The breath deepens. The heart beats with a rhythm that feels older than your name, and the space within you becomes still, as if waiting for someone. That someone is Shakti, the coiled intelligence at the base of your spine, the divine feminine current of life itself. She has been with you since birth, but she does not rise for desire alone. She rises only when the path is clear. The balance of Ida and Pingala has opened the central channel, but Shakti will not move through it until every gate can receive her fire. The chakras are tested, the body is scanned, every point of tension, every shadow, every forgotten wound is brought into awareness, not to punish, but to prepare. You may feel old emotions surface, dreams that seem to purge the past, or moments where your body trembles as energy reorganizes itself. This is the purification, the silent cleansing that ensures her rise will be perfect, without fracture, without chaos. And as this preparation deepens, you begin to feel her presence, a warm, living pulse in the root, like the heartbeat of the earth itself, waiting for the signal to move. She does not rush, she does not force, she waits. Because when she rises through a fully awakened Sushumna, nothing will ever be the same again.
Chapter 4. The Perfect Rise. It begins with a single pulse, not in the heart, not in the mind, but deep at the base of the spine. Shakti uncoils, not in a rush, but in perfect rhythm, her movement guided by the harmony of Ida and Pingala. The lunar current cools her, the solar current warms her, and together they carry her upward through the central channel. This is not the chaotic surge that burns and fractures. This is the ascension the sages spoke of, steady, precise, alive. Every chakra she touches bursts open in full bloom. At the root, she solidifies your connection to the earth. In the sacral, she awakens creative power and emotional freedom. Through the solar plexus, she refines will into pure purpose. At the heart, she floods you with a love that has no opposite. In the throat, she releases a voice that speaks only truth. Through the third eye, she clears the illusion from sight. And finally, at the crown, she arrives as light. The rise is not a straight climb. It is a spiral of perfection, a marriage of fire and stillness, of movement and silence. And when she moves this way, your body does not resist, it surrenders, because every cell recognizes her as the force it was always waiting for.
Chapter 5. The Gifts of the Crown. When Shakti reaches the crown, the axis of light that is Sushumna becomes a bridge between heaven and earth. The mind no longer grasps, it simply knows. The heart no longer seeks, it simply radiates. This is where the siddhis transform from whispers into a symphony. Clairvoyance becomes crystal vision. You see not only the present, but the deeper architecture beneath it. Telepathy becomes communion. Words are unnecessary. Truth flows in silence. Intuition becomes certainty. Your every step lands exactly where it must. And then, something greater. The ability to see reality as it truly is. It is what the mystics called Christ consciousness. What the final moments of Neo in the Matrix tried to show. The code behind the illusion, the patterns beneath the surface, and the freedom to move within them without fear. Here, miracles are not supernatural. They are the natural laws of an awakened being. Healing flows through your hands without effort. Your words carry vibrations that shift the hearts of those who hear them. The boundaries between you and the world dissolve, and everything becomes a single living field. The Buddha called this Nirvana. The sadhus called it Moksha. The yogis call it the union of Shakti and Shiva. It is the moment when the feminine current of creation merges into the infinite stillness of pure consciousness. And in that union, you remember what you truly are. Not a seeker, not a body, not even a mind, but the living bridge between the finite and the eternal.
Chapter 6. The Vision Beyond Illusion. The moment Shakti rests in the crown, sight is no longer bound to the eyes. You begin to perceive reality as if a veil has fallen away. The same world, but alive with patterns, currents, and codes. Walls no longer look solid. Time no longer feels fixed. Every object, every person, every event glows with an energy field you can feel and sometimes adjust. This is the Neo moment, the awakening, where you realize you were never at the mercy of the program. Like in the final scene of The Matrix, you see the architecture behind appearances, the sacred geometry woven into the fabric of existence. And when you act from this vision, reality responds instantly. It's not about control, it's about resonance. When your axis is open and your currents are balanced, your vibration becomes the command line of the universe. Healing, creation, alignment. They happen not because you force them, but because you have become the clear channel through which they occur. Here, the siddhis mature into mastery. Clairvoyance becomes a living map. Telepathy becomes a shared mind. Manifestation becomes the natural unfolding of your inner state. And yet, this vision is not the end. It is the doorway to the highest purpose of Kundalini awakening. Not to escape the world, but to live in it as one who sees the truth and moves in harmony with it.
Chapter 7. The Nirvana Within. When Shakti rises in perfect balance and merges into the crown, you are no longer climbing toward enlightenment, you are standing in it. This is what the Buddha called Nirvana, not a place, but the extinction of all inner turbulence. The restless mind dissolves, the endless grasping ceases. Every moment feels complete as it is. For the wandering sadhus of India, this is moksha, liberation from the cycle of birth and death, freedom from the unconscious repetition of lifetimes. You are no longer carried by the river of karma. You are the still source from which the river flows.
And for the yogis, this is the sacred union of Shakti and Shiva. The serpent's fire, creative, dynamic, alive, merges with the infinite stillness of pure awareness. No longer two forces, but one eternal presence moving through your body as light, resting in your heart as peace, and radiating through your eyes as truth. In this state, you understand that nothing has been gained, only remembered. The divine was never far away. It was hidden in the space between breaths, in the silent axis of your own spine. Here, even the siddhis become secondary. What use is power when you have no desire to grasp? What need is there for miracles when every moment is already the miracle itself? This is the Nirvana within, the unshaken state where life and liberation are no longer separate.
Chapter 8. Living as the Axis. When you live with the central channel open, you no longer move through life. Life moves through you. Your presence becomes a silent force. You don't have to announce it. People feel it before you speak. Some are drawn closer, sensing a clarity they can't explain. Others drift away, unable to stand in the mirror of your truth. Relationships transform. Those built on fear or dependency dissolve with ease. Those rooted in authenticity deepen effortlessly. You begin to speak less, but each word carries the weight of coherence. Even your silence becomes a transmission, a reminder that stillness is not emptiness, but fullness without noise. The outer world shifts too. Opportunities that once seemed distant appear without struggle. Environments that drained you no longer touch you. Synchronicities align with such precision that you stop doubting the flow. It is not that you control reality, you have simply aligned with its deepest current. You are the vertical bridge between the infinite and the embodied, between the unseen and the manifest. This is the true meaning of living as the Axis. Every breath is a calibration. Every step is a prayer. Every moment, a point where heaven and earth meet within you. Chapter 9. The Dance of Creation. When the axis is clear and the currents are in perfect harmony, creation stops being an accident. Every thought, every feeling, every intention moves outward like a wave through the field, shaping reality with quiet precision. You begin to see that manifestation is not about wanting harder or visualizing longer. It is about the resonance between your inner state and the universal pulse. When the two match, the outer world rearranges without resistance. It is a dance. You sense the rhythm of events before they arrive. You meet opportunities in perfect timing, not because you chased them, but because you are standing exactly where they will appear. This is why the ancients said, "As within, so without." The Sushumna does not only carry energy upward, it also transmits it outward, sending your coherence into the weave of existence, and the weave responds. Here, every act is sacred creation. A word spoken from truth can heal. A gesture made in presence can shift an entire situation. Even a single look can carry an entire transmission of light. This is the dance of creation, not the forceful making of something new, but the effortless emergence of what is already aligned with your being. Chapter 10. the return to wholeness. At the end of the path, you realize there was never a journey, only a remembering. Ida and Pingala still weave their eternal dance. Sushumna still stands as the silent axis. Shakti still moves as the living current of creation, now inseparable from Shiva's stillness. Nothing about life outside has changed, and yet everything feels different. The mind no longer runs ahead. The past no longer pulls you back. You stand in the present as the only reality, complete and unshaken. This is the return to wholeness, not an escape from the body, but the discovery that the body itself is the temple. Not a rejection of the world, but the knowing that the world is the field in which the divine plays. Here, the siddhis are no longer curiosities, they are natural expressions of your being. Vision is clear because nothing clouds it. Manifestation is effortless because nothing opposes it. Love flows without reason because nothing interrupts it. This is the state the masters pointed toward. The Christ who walked in love, the Buddha seated in Nirvana, the sadhu free in Moksha. Different names for the same union, the same freedom, the same truth. You do not guard this awakening, you live it. You let it move through your hands, your words, your presence, until everything you touch carries the imprint of the axis. And from here, there is no falling back asleep. The serpent has risen, the channel is open, and the dance between heaven and earth will continue through you forever.
Final activation. The living axis awakens. Close your eyes. Breathe slowly. Feel the spine, not as bone, but as a column of light. With every inhale, feel the silver current of Ida rise along your left side. Cool, lunar, intuitive. With every exhale, feel the golden current of Pingala rise along your right. Warm, solar, electric. Now imagine both currents spiraling together, weaving in harmony, meeting at the base of the spine, igniting the hidden channel, Sushumna. See it open, a radiant vertical beam stretching from root to crown, clear, alive, awake. And now, invite Shakti. Feel her presence stirring at the base, a coiled serpent of pure energy, patient, eternal, waiting. Whisper within, the path is ready, rise. As she ascends through Sushumna, feel each chakra burst into light. Red root, alive with safety. Orange sacral, alive with passion. Yellow solar plexus, alive with will. Green heart, alive with love. Blue throat, alive with truth. Indigo third eye, alive with vision. Violet crown, alive with union. Now see it, the union at the top. Shakti's fire merging into Shiva's stillness. Movement and silence as one. Energy and consciousness dissolving into radiance. Breathe into this moment. You are not becoming awakened. You are awakening itself. Repeat within, I am the axis. I am the union. Shakti rises, Shiva witnesses, and I am whole. Feel it settle, not as imagination, as truth. The serpent has risen, the channel is open, and the dance of heaven and earth has begun through you.